Alright, so I typically don't make YouTube videos like this. If you watch my YouTube channel, then you know majority of my YouTube videos are just workout videos. As time has gone on, I've tried to be more versatile with my content, kind of making like a wide variety of videos where I do several different things and talk about several different topics. But it's a little difficult because I'm so used to just going downstairs in the garage, working out and recording myself, to the point where I don't really talk frequently in my workout videos and stuff like that. I definitely can and I'm capable of doing so, but it's harder because one thing I have noticed with time is that it is a little harder for me to work out, not just consistently, but it's a lot harder for me to find the energy to work out during the winter time. I'm not sure why, but something about working out in the cold just really kind of, what's the word? Plateaus what it is I'm doing. And it's just something I've noticed over time. I've been trying to do better with it, trying to be more consistent over time, but it's still been something that I've been struggling with. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about in today's YouTube video. What I wanted to talk about was how working out is unique to everybody. And a lot of people, when they hear that, they're under the impression that it's just talking about the way you work out, like whether you do plyometrics, whether you're strength training, whether you're bodybuilding, stuff like that. A lot of people would just assume I'm talking about that. But when I say that, I really just mean in general. Like, there's so many wide varieties. Like, you can train bodybuilding, you can train powerlifting, you can do plyometrics, you can be strength training. There's a wide variety of training types that you can have, and there's a lot of different reasons you can have for doing that. And something I've noticed over time is that trying to make the way you work out similar to others actually ruins the way that you train, and very much can ruin your confidence. It can ruin your progress, it can ruin your consistency, and it can just overall fuck up everything you're doing when it comes to working out, or really anything in your life. Because what I had to realize upon my working out journey is that not everybody is the same. The way that everybody does something is different. You will never be able to go in the gym and watch somebody post a tutorial on how to do an incline bench press and do it perfectly how they do it. It's impossible, because the way that their muscles are will never be similar to yours. The way their genetics are will never be similar to yours. And their height, their weight, their body type, the structure, and the size of their bones, that will never be the same. And when you realize that, in my personal opinion, it makes it significantly easier to do the things that you want to do, both in life and when it comes to working out, because you have to realize that comparison is one of the biggest things that can ruin everything. Comparing yourself to somebody and wanting to look the way someone looks, doing something the way someone does something, and be just as good as doing something the way that somebody else does it, just in general ruins everything it is you're doing. And what's really weird and what's really interesting about learning that is that it applies most to me working out, but I didn't learn it through working out. I learned it because a lot of times I would notice that a lot of the things that the people around me do, such as family and friends, the way they do something is way more progressive and way more overall effective and better and more successful as well than the way I do it. And I had to realize that comparing myself to them was what was making me worse as a person, and what was tearing my confidence down. Because what you have to realize is, you looking at another person, say a really big example I think for men, just people in general, is say weight or attractiveness. You looking at the person next to you and them being significantly more attractive than you, in your opinion, is one of the worst things for your confidence, because naturally you're saying, I'm taking the way I'm looking at it and comparing it to somebody who's completely different than me. They're not the same race as me. They're not the same ethnicity as me. They haven't gone through the same things as me. We don't look the same. We don't have the same genetics, the same bone structure. All that stuff is different, right? None of the ways that we're built, none of the ways that we were raised probably are not similar. And if they are similar, they're not exactly the same. And even if they are quote unquote similar, there's still a lot of big differences, because what you have to realize is you are 99, the voice crack is kind of crazy. You are 99% identical to every human being, right? Every single human on earth is 99% identical to the person next to you. So if I was to go get a random person who was a completely race and ethnicity to me off the street, I am 99% identical to that person if we're talking scientifically. It makes no sense, right? Because we're not the same ethnicity, the same race. Our body structures are probably completely different. We're probably different heights and different sizes. So what is so important, especially when it comes to working out, is you have to realize your journey is going to be different than other people's. There are so many things that I do when it comes to working out that feels so wrong to me and that I question so much to the point where it ruins the workout. What I had to realize about working out is when you're lifting weights, when you're doing an incline bench press, when you're doing bicep curls, when you're doing whatever it is you're doing, letting your mind roam free and not obsessing over one thing, whether it's your form, whether it's what somebody else looks like, whether it's about what happened earlier today, can fuck up everything. It can fuck up your mood. It can mess up your day. It can mess up your tone. It can mess up absolutely everything. Letting something that happened 5 hours ago affect what you're doing now is the worst thing you can possibly do. And that is why balance is so important. Being able to balance things and being able to take this and put them together and be able to balance them simultaneously is probably one of the best skills you can have as a person. And one thing I've also realized with time is that it is not good to be good at one thing specifically. You want to be a really good all-around person. So say you have 3 skills, right? Building things, destroying things, and simultaneously making 2 things to go along with each other. Do not master one of those things and then just leave it there. Master one of those things, but continue to progress and work on those other 2 things. That way you're really good at one thing and you're decently good at 2 other things, meaning that in total you have 3 things that you're decently good at. One you excel at more than the other, but you still can multitask and do more than one thing. And that applies to working out because it's all about balance. Balancing is extremely important. One thing I've recognized with my working out is really inconsistent, not necessarily because I'm bad at working out or because I don't have the motivation or discipline to work out, but because I overthink about my workouts and overthink about everything I do so much that it in general ruins about every single thing that I do. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday. I was gonna do a push day. I was doing my incline bench press and it was 1, freezing outside. Like I said earlier in the video, I struggle with working out in the cold. And 2, my incline bench press did not feel right. Whenever I'm doing my incline bench press, I don't really have a pump that I quote unquote think I should have. And I'm not sure if it's a problem with my form or whatever, but whenever I do it, I feel it more in my shoulders than I feel it in my chest. And I've tried everything. I've tried to make my incline bench higher. That didn't really work. I've tried to adjust the way that I retract the way I'm studying so much right now. The way that I retract my scapula, that doesn't work. I've tried several different forms. It all ends the same. And that ruined my workout because I'm constantly overthinking to myself, am I doing this right? I'm really fucking this up. There's no point in working out. And I ended up not working out that day. Yes, I was going to do a push day today, but I did do kind of worked out. I have a body bag, you know, the body bags you use to box. I did a little bit of boxing because, you know, why not? Boxing is really nice. I did some jump roping too, and I'm pretty sore, so I don't think it's a good idea to work out today. And I also played soccer today in the afternoon. But all of that to say, it's really important to remember that your journey is going to be significantly different than other people's. And what you also have to realize is the people you see online have years of work. Like, I'll give you an example. CBum, he is one of the best bodybuilders to ever exist. I think I can't remember, 7, 6, 8, 9-time Olympia. I don't remember one of those numbers. Point is, he's really successful with bodybuilding. He's been bodybuilding, not even bodybuilding, just in general. I'm pretty sure CBum has been working out since college or high school. But he started in college and high school, not even in college or high school anymore. Pretty sure CBum's like early 30s. Late 20s maybe. Point being, it takes time. I've seen plenty of bodybuilders, plenty of people who've been working out for 7, 8 years and their physique still isn't absolutely incredible. It's way better than mine, way better than the average person, but to that person, they consider their physique to be mid. So something that's really important to keep in mind is that everybody's journey is different. If you feel like you're doing something wrong, I promise you it's normal. As time goes on, you will get better. But it's also very important not to stress out over it. If you keep thinking about it, if you keep saying in your mind, oh, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong, you're going to do worse. What you have to realize is your brain has power over everything. So if in your mind you tell yourself you're going to fuck up, you're gonna fuck up. Your brain actually has the capability of taking something you think that's not true and making that the reality. It's kind of like with being sick. A lot of people are under the impression that they're sick and their brain tells them that they're sick, so they end up actually getting sick. That has happened before. If you want to search it up, you can. But your brain has power over your whole entire body. So it's really important to keep that in mind. Another thing is body dysmorphia. I wouldn't say I have body dysmorphia, but I would say that I do overthink with my physique a lot. And a lot of times I think I need to work on this, I need to work on this. But at the same time, that could really just be considered constructive criticism. So take that lightly and take that how you will. But I feel like that was important to say, because I've really been thinking hard about that all day, about how working out is unique to everyone and how my workout experience and what I do on a daily is completely different than others. Because a lot of people my age and a lot of people who do, I'm not gonna say do what I do, but a lot of people my age would never record themselves and post it on YouTube because they find it cringy. And I'm sure there's a lot of people of which I know that watch what I do and watch, you know, the stuff I post that find it cringy. And at first it was kind of embarrassing because I thought to myself, wow, am I really gonna post this? But as time has gone on, I've realized like all the people who are successful right now went through that, you know, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to be successful, or I'm saying that I'm more successful than the average person my age, but I'm just saying that, you know, I don't do what I do with the hopes of even getting money. I do it to track my progress. I mean, in the event that happened over the long run, in the next few years, in the next few decades, or whatever the case may be, that would be nice. But in general, I really just record myself working out, record myself doing content and stuff because, you know, I like the way I look. On top of this, on top of the fact that I like the way I look, I have confidence, and I also just do it because I enjoy it and I want to track my progress over time. So it's very important. You need the three things when it comes to workout that I would say that personally is the most important: to be disciplined, to have confidence in yourself, and to track your progress over time and have confidence that what you're doing will matter in the long run. Because, you know, your journey is even more important than the destination. Because if you don't enjoy the journey, then chances are you'll never get to the destination because you're so focused on getting there that you're not doing the things that you should be focusing on in the moment. And that's kind of where that saying, you know, focusing on the past and focusing on the future is irrelevant if you don't know what you're doing in the present. And I would say that kind of is a point. It is good to think about the future and the past sometimes, but you shouldn't obsess over it. All that matters is what is happening right now. What you do right now will impact your future. You can't change your past, so you might as well forget about it. You won't really be able to change your future because you don't know what you're going to do yet. So focus on what you're doing right now and focus, you know, on the future when you get to it. There's no point in rushing. Just overall, know that your progress and your journey is not going to be the same as other people, and that if you have confidence in yourself, if you stay disciplined and you track your progress, that's all you ever need to do. You're going to struggle. You're going to feel like you're doing shit wrong. All that matters is that you are focusing on yourself and that over time you are improving. And as long as you do that, you have nothing to worry about. So that's really all I wanted to say. I feel like it was important to get that out the way because it's been something I'm struggling with as well. I'm not perfect. I skip workouts. You know, it is what it is. I'm young. I still have time. I'm only 15 years old. So, you know, just take that time and make sure that you think about that. Make sure you remember that everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect, and that sometimes it is good to take time off. And yeah.